Ain't this what they been waiting for? You ready?
Welcome, welcome, welcome to another edition of Fabulous Frequency Podcast. I'm Diva,
I'm Divine.
and tonight's topic is going to be giving grace. Now, before we start, what is grace? I'd like to say that grace is just pretty much giving someone a pass, whether they deserve it or they don't deserve it. It's more for you than that person at sometimes. Um, it's kind of sister to forgiveness, but grace is kind of better than forgiveness because it's done in courtesy before there's even a wrongdoing. You just it to me, in order to give
hmm
someone grace, you have to empathize first. You have to put yourself in that person's shoes or try to get in their mind and see what could have caused the behavior that you're giving them grace from in the first place. You want to expound on that,
Well,
Divine?
yeah, and more grace would lead to less need for forgiveness. I think, like we were discussing earlier, we were discussing the different types of relationships and different ways in which people show grace to one person, but maybe not to another person. We were talking about friendships, for instance, and how some friendships can mend if both persons are empathetic and they can come outside themselves and be amicable, see what they could have done wrong, and see, well, okay, well, I see where I could have made you think that, and come together. But you can't have a meeting of the minds like that without grace, because grace is the thing that keeps you from saying, well, you did it, and I'm just gonna be mad at you. It's like, you know what? I bet she had a hard day, or remembering this the time when somebody's loved one might have passed away, or it might have been a birthday. Just not being so hard on each other, because I think we are so hard on each other and not hard as we need to be when it comes to outside of ourselves and how we should things that we should not give grace to. We do. Um, and I'm not talking about in a biblical sense. I'm just talking about in a peace of mind. Um, Reference to giving someone grace, having empathy for someone. Um, it's beyond that. Because we were also talking about the religious aspect of it too, uh, as far as grace and forgiveness. Um,
And like she said, with the different relationships, I feel like quite often in our friendships, especially Black women, we are quick to give grace to our relationships with men than
hmm
we are with our female friendships. Like we don't cherish our female friendships as much as we cherish our male friendships, relationships. And a lot of times when one of us is slighted, or you feel some type of betrayal, or sometimes it's not even that deep. Somebody can say something you didn't like. You can kind of feel like they're acting weird in a sense, or just something very minor that could have a lot of times been resolved by just simple communication. We tend to let those relationships go faster than we would with a man. Like
And
a lot of us
assume
give
we make
men
assumptions
countless
too.
number of times of
Yes.
forgiveness. Like, but when it comes to a female, it's like I'm not talking to her anymore. Anymore, I'm
hmm
done with her. It's over. Like, I don't want to be her
hmm
friend anymore. Like, that bitch is tripping. And like she said, sometimes it's not even about you. It could be that person is having a
Right.
bad day. They could be grieving. I mean, you never know until you actually have a simple conversation with someone about what it was that was going on in their life. And a lot of times we let time pass, and we miss out on a lot of things in people's lives because we're being so self-centered. So
Yes.
sometimes it
Yes.
helps to give people grace because we miss out on valuable interactions with people sometimes because
hmm
we assume things. And a lot of times when you assume, you get the wrong picture. I mean, you have a conversation with someone, they might be like, no, it wasn't like that. I was thinking about
Mm-hmm.
this. And you're like, oh, okay, so it wasn't that. But a lot of times we won't even have those conversations. We'll just make it up in our mind what the scenario was, and sometimes we're wrong.
That's three things. That is erroneous assumptions, right? Because the first thing you think, oh, she must think she must think I'm a kiss her. She's not even thinking about you because she's got seven XYZ things going on. That's the first one. Then you got that ego that you can't come out of yourself and come out and be a reasonable human being. You know what I'm saying? And there was a third thing I was going to say. It's erroneous assumption, it's ego, and projection. It's oftentimes you projecting your insecurities off into the friend. You know what I'm saying? And so those three things, erroneous assumption, ego, and projection are what leads the most to those moments where there's a lack in grace. And let's be honest, we have all had moments and days where somebody needs to show us grace because we just weren't thinking right. We got up on whichever side of the bed we got up on because it don't matter which one it was going to be the right one. Everything was wrong. The way you brush your teeth was wrong. Your towel went in the right place. Your shirt was on backwards. So we all have off days, and we should just give each other grace and try to build and love on each other. There was once a time when we only spoke lovingly to each other like a romance language all the time. Oh, look at you. You're so beautiful. Your skin is so radiant. I love you, my dear. You know what I'm saying? We always talked endearingly to each other, and we have lost that. In this rat race that they call society and capitalism. We can't even be there for each other like we want to because we gotta go to work. We gotta do things. So yeah, but we definitely gotta give each other more grace. Relationships, friendships, victims. Um, when people are telling their story, whether you agree or not, you know, it takes a lot of courage to be able to open your mouth once you've been violated in any way. Um, Sexual abuse is not physical violence, however, it is a different form of physical violence. It's the same thing. You don't want to open your mouth about verbal abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, any of it. But in the same right, we have to give each other grace and be a safe space for each other. Nobody should be, um, nobody should be, what's the word I'm looking for? uh, Thinking about not being here anymore because someone took it upon themselves to be callous and inconsiderate of what was going on or what happened to someone, whether you believe them or not. You know what I'm saying? And whether you think they're telling the truth or not, it'll come out in the wash. Those that are guilty will be found guilty. Those that are found not to be guilty, they'll be found not to be guilty. But at the end of the day, we got to lend people grace to tell their truth. And that freedom of speech extends to so much beyond just you and your life and what you got going on. The grace has to be when friends are friends. Hey, friend, I love you. You messing up. Hey, friend, I love you. Can you help me with this? It builds a trust. It builds a safety. Where I know, hey, if I need to know the truth, even if it might hurt my feelings, I'm gonna get that here. I know if I need to know this, that, and the other, I can trust where this is coming from. But oftentimes, we are so ready to enact this false sense of judgment and ridicule and be as ugly as we can to each other. Almost put people in a hell on earth. I mean, and I don't know why we do that to each other. Um,
Right. And I also don't understand, like, when someone does have the courage to come out and be transparent about an experience, why is it that oftentimes we do victim shaming? Like, um, it takes a lot of courage for people to come out and share their experiences, especially childhood traumatic experiences, or any type of situation where they may have been violated,
mhm.
abused, or taken advantage of. And when a lot of times when people come out with these stories, they are ridiculed and made out to be the villain instead of the victim. And I'm not saying that you should walk around with, the letter V on your forehead and have this victim mentality. But a lot of times when people are talking about those type experiences, it's because they're trying to get some type of healing out of the situation. And a
Yes.
lot of times when they are sharing these moments, that's part of their healing.
Mhm.
And when you take it upon yourself to bash them or ridicule them, you're impeding their healing.
Mhm.
And a lot
Definitely.
of times people can't take that. And you have people that have situations where they decide they want to take their lives because they feel embarrassed, they feel shame, and no one should feel these feelings for being transparent about their own situation, especially when they are with children and they had no control over the situation. And a lot of times people don't understand that just because someone is sharing their experience, that doesn't mean that they're over it. It means that they're trying to start the process to get over it sometimes. And a
Yes.
lot of times, when you impede that process, you can actually set them back.
Hmm.
And some people don't know how to deal with that. They thought they were being productive, and hey, let me get this out, and I'm tired of holding it in, and then you get ridiculed and shamed, and it makes you question everything about your experience. Like, was I wrong? Was it something that I did? Like, am I, the one who had the issue? And no one should be ridiculed for being a victim, especially like I said, if it's something that happened as a child, or even as like right now, if someone comes to you and vent about a situation that they have going on. Um sometimes it doesn't even take for you to provide them with any feedback. Sometimes people are just venting to get these things off their chest so they
Mhm.
can begin to
Process
start the
mentally. Yep.
process of healing and mentally getting these things out because it's weighing on them. And sometimes just being a listening ear is all that people need. They don't even need your feedback. So sometimes instead of just being so quick to judge, we can just be a sounding board. Sometimes that's all people need.
I'm sitting
But
over here nodding my
often we're
head.
too quick to judge, and sometimes that can lead to, you know, uh very traumatic results with some people because they don't know how to deal with rejection. And we should be more forgiving of some people's inability to be as tough as we are. Everyone does not have the same tolerance when it comes to shaming and joking. And you never know when somebody is really serious. They might actually be at their breaking point. And you can take that one thing that you say, that one little joke or that one little heartless comment, and they're ready to end it all. Especially like when you're dealing with social media, people get on social media and vent. Sometimes people do it for attention. We know those people. You're online crying, trying to get that man to pay you attention. You're online crying. Like sometimes we feel like, hey, you can do all that online. You're fine. You're crying. If you can hold the phone and you can produce these tears, and you're fine. But
Those people
sometimes
are
that's not the
processing their
case.
emotions. Yeah. Yeah. And not only are they processing their emotions, but one person I want to commend is Kevin Gates because I'm gonna just say, as a psychology major and somebody who studies psychology and the mind, a lot of his behaviors, I used to always say he building up for something. He building himself up for something. I would see his promiscuity, the way he would treat women, talk about women, the way he would handle himself, carry himself. And I was like, he has built himself a false sense of ego so he could deal with the real stuff. And then, he crashed. And when he crashed, I was like, he gonna admit something here in a little bit. He gonna have an admission. And then, excuse me, he came out and had that admission. And so once he admitted what happened to him when he was younger, it put everything into perspective. I was like, that's why it explained everything, to a T. So sometimes, because there's a few times I was like, I'm not listening to Kevin Gates no more. I'm not dealing. He got issues, he got problems, but as I, you know, see what has happened to him, and it's a lot of people that things have happened to. I have some people in my life, and they're men, and their first encounter was not consensual. It was not with someone their age. It was one of their mother's friends. You know what I'm saying? So we got to give grace because monsters come in all shapes and sizes. And so when they do, most monsters like to attack and prey on children. So these scars and these wounds that people bear, they're deep. And so just try not to, if they're already trying not to pick the wound, don't you pick it too. Don't you walk up to them and rip the scab off, man. Come on. So we definitely want to give each other grace. Give your friends grace and forgiveness. Give other people grace and forgiveness. What is the Tyler Perry movie that came out with Taraji Henson and the Paycheck? What's that movie? I can't think of the movie. You all know the movie.
Me neither.
It's Taraji P. Henson and Tyler
I know.
Perry and
I know exactly which one you're talking
Sherry
about.
Shepherd. Yeah. So that's another instance of grace. You know what I'm saying? And by the time she did meet with Grace, the whole situation was blown out of proportion, and
Are you talking about the bank robbery? The one with
yeah, there
the
wasn't even a bank
what
robbery.
the one they thought was a bank robbery where
Yes, you know what I mean? So it's
they
like
had her held up and she was just trying to
Grace.
cash her check the whole
Look
time.
how many, yeah, look how many times people have, it's okay to not mind your business if a child is detrimentally in danger. But look how many times a child has not been in danger and someone just maliciously called CPS on the parents because they wanted it was a power struggle thing. It's nothing to do with the parents, but everything to do with power control. You have a lot to do in social working cases and this, that, and the third, and then just with people in general. If you don't do what I say, I'm gonna have my sister in call CPS. You know what I'm saying? And it be the people who won't help you babysit your kids and don't babysit their own kids. Him trying to call CPS. Stop invoking them people. And this is absolute, at this day and time in our existence, in the realm of humanity, in this dimension of existence, this is not the time to be sicking the people on each other. This is the time for unity, solidarity, empathy, and understanding and progress. We have a mission to accomplish right now. It's called survival. We can see what's going on. And I just want to point out, because I'm going to toot my own horn, I put up the question last week, if you remember, and I was asking people, hey, you guys, let's get together, let's plan, what I'm saying, for us, for our future, because ICE is out here. And everybody's like, oh, you tripping. They messing with Mexicans. They messing with Mexicans. Okay, so like 3 days after that, they put up the post saying now they looking for Haitians. Well, excuse me, um, Haitians are quote unquote West Indians. We are from Northwest Mexico, Turtle Island. So we are also Indians. We look alike. So once again, we are in the realm of fitting the description. You know what I'm saying? We need to give ourselves grace and not be so dependent upon extrinsic forces and extrinsic powers to feed us and clothe us and go about our way. I think uh, a couple of things that segregation did was keep us with self-determination. And we have to get back to that. And I made mention of that article because certain people said certain things of the post. I heard it and I did hear it because I'm pretty sure they weren't coming from a place of maliciousness. They were coming from a place of she talking about the Mexicans. She talking about them, and then the other. Um, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about us. And I didn't ask anybody to march or protest. I said let's plan. And here we are today. We get up today, and on this Friday morning, y'all's president, Mr. Poopy Pants, felt it upon himself because all he's trying to do, here y'all now, he's trying to feign ignorance and build him a case of mental incompetence. But today he got up and put the former president Barack Obama and his wife put gorillas, orangutan bodies, and put their faces on them as a blatant overt sign of racism. And I just want to know if it's a wake up call yet that we need to come together and begin to plan and do for ourselves, or are we going to wait? Because I don't think we should keep um, acting like our house is not on fire. It's definitely on fire. We definitely fit the description at this point. And so Let's give ourselves grace. And I even go so far, we always talk about slavery in the past and things that happened in past relationships. In our past, in our history, in the history of humanity, through the decades, post slavery, post Vietnam, post Reagan era. We talk about these different things, but one thing I want us to try to do is really just have grace with each other. You know what I'm saying? Melanated man, I know us as melanated women, we might not do everything y'all want us to do the way you want us to do it, but that's not how things are supposed to go anyway. But at the end of the day, uh, before I sit down, I was like, if you ever been to Bossier Max and see how long and hard it is to get down that road, just imagine doing that with only dirt roads and no compass, no GPS. You've never been anywhere else. You don't know which way to go. You don't know the way down Highway 3. You don't know anything except just being on that land. You know what I'm saying? Give your ancestors grace for being prisoners of war. Give them brothers that didn't save us when they should have grace. You know what I'm saying? They were broken, they were hurt, they were prisoners of war. And we just gonna give each other some grace because I think without giving each other grace, we're never gonna mend this rift between us. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think it's been us who's had a problem extending the grace. I definitely think it's been the brothers because at the end of the day, when you got whipped in the field, who was there to mend your back? You know what I'm saying? Who was there running things and keeping things going? So, like I said, we definitely have always had an interpersonal relationship and a cooperative relationship with each other. And I just think extending each other, melanated man, melanated woman, grace. From here on out, we're gonna send each other grace and treat each other kindly and with love. Talk to each other like we love each other. We are not strangers to each other. We're not dogs in the street. There are not even 6 degrees of separation anymore. Everybody knows somebody that knows somebody literally now. So there's not 6 degrees of separation, but there are definitely 10 degrees of hate. The hate is definitely real. You can get on this app, this blue app, any day, or Twitter or Instagram, and find the hate. First thing in the morning, right before you go to bed, the hate is always present. The envy is always present. The jealousy is definitely present. And so we must extend each other grace and wish goodwill upon each other. I want you guys to prosper. Diva wants you guys to prosper. That's the whole reason why we do fabulous frequency. And frequency check. Check yourself right now. What is your vibe like? I'm feeling fabulous myself. Diva, how you feeling?
Um, it's been a very eventful day. I will say that despite it all, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. And I hope you guys out there are feeling great as well. If not, do what you need to do to raise your frequency. Get you drink a nice cup of tea, watch your favorite show, put on your favorite music, and just dance your heart out. Do what you need to do to get yourself mentally where you need to be. And as far as grace goes, give yourself some grace. If you went to work today and you made it through the day, you got the kids off to school, you accomplished your a lot of things on your to-do list, give yourself a pat on the back. Like, we don't give ourselves enough
Mm-hmm.
credit for just getting through
Yes.
life itself.
You did so good
There's
today.
so many
Yes.
different things that we have to triumph in order just to get through the day. Like,
And make it back home.
and before you know it, hell, it's a new day. Like, you just don't know how much it takes to get from day to day. Like, people go through their own personal struggles on top of the things that they're trying to heal from. On top of that, you trying to make a living,
Mm.
trying to make sure that you get some type of self-care in. Like, these are day-to-day struggles that people have. And for some people, hell, just getting out the bed is hard enough. So yeah, give yourself some grace if you made it through the day and nobody got hurt. And
Mm.
back onto the Kevin Gates subject, because I watched the interview with him and Shannon Sharp on Club Shay Shay, and I was really moved by his story because he's accomplished so much despite of all the things that he's been through. And he said something profound when he said that, a lot of he realized that a lot of the issues that he had with women was because he was projecting his childhood traumas on them, and he was
Mhm.
looking for his mother through these women.
Mhm.
And a lot of times when you're looking for your parent in your significant other or in your friends, you tend to have higher expectations than you
Mhm.
probably should have.
And be
And your
more possessive than you
expectations
should
are
be.
right, and your expectations are like less realistic than if you really gave each other grace, because you
Right.
understand like we're all human beings. We all have our positive traits, we
Mhm.
all have our negative traits.
But
Nobody
I'm
is
not your
perfect.
mama.
Right. And you got to take, when you're dealing with friends and significant others, you have to take the good with the bad, or you have to decide that this person is just not your cup of tea, and there's nothing wrong with that. But giving each other grace is just simply saying, hey, I accept you for who you are. I don't expect you to be anyone else. But if you have these, if you keep testing my boundaries, or if you're the kind of person that consistently puts me in a defense, or you're always doing shady things, or
That
I
means
know
I
you to
never
be a
feel safe
liar,
around you.
or
Right.
I had things come up missing while you're around. I can't help but notice
Right.
a pattern, you know what I'm saying? Or you're the kind of person that I get around you and you're always moody on you. And when I come around you, there's like a damn dark cloud looming over you.
Mhm.
Sometimes that makes you want to stay the hell away from people, because we all have our cross to bear anyway.
Mhm.
And when you get around some people that everything is just so dang negative, it just makes you not want to be around them. I mean, we're already fighting our day-to-day battles as is. Like, why be that person that's just this negative Nancy all the time?
It's a decision, just like how I'm always a happy butt and I'm always choosing to be happy. It's a decision, and these are people that these people that you're speaking of, these are agents of chaos, and those people operate in chaos because peace brings them discomfort. They didn't grow up with that peace; they grew up in chaos. Um, and so so now you have to go back to when we just had that discussion about people that were raised in love and people that were raised in trauma or survival. So when you are raised in love and you have the intention to love, you're gonna speak to your mate, your partner differently than someone who's just raised on survival. Someone who's raised on survival and trauma is not gonna care how they speak to their mate. And then they're gonna expect their mate to just take it. They're gonna be like, well, it's just how I am, deal with it. Do you know that that's gonna be the norm for a minute? And then you won't have anyone to deal with because they're going to leave you. I don't know anybody who wants to be with someone who talks to them crazy and disrespectful and still expect to keep them because the disrespect will close the doors that the love would have kept open for years. The disrespect will have people plotting on their departure. The disrespect will have people closing their wallets and doors to you. I'm talking about different opportunities, the jobs that you could get. You be disrespecting and stop. And I'm gonna say this, brothers get mad out there when people find out. Stop doing things to your partner. This is gonna go back to this grace thing. You have the grace enough for yourself to not do anything to your partner that's gonna look bad on your parents raising you. Stop getting mad because somebody is telling their truth to someone about what you've done to them. They're explaining that you've done something to them. You've done it. You hit them, you scarred them, you scratched them, you said something to them, and they're expressing um their feelings and their experiences with their family, with their loved ones, with their confidants. So my thing is, if you want to be revered as this wonderful guy, then you should be doing wonderful guy type shit. Like you should be taking my friends out the cares of the world. And I'm gonna say mine right here. You should be taking my friends out the cares of this world. You should be giving my friends mental freedom to be who they are and mental creativity to be who they need to be and create the jobs and ideas and inventions that they need to. My friends should have the um, um, what is the word I want to say? Monetary fortitude to make any move that they want to. They shouldn't be bound by finances or any lack of finances if you are in their lives. And so when I see you in my friend's life and I know how my friend was living before she met you, I know how she liked things. I know how she liked to treat herself. I know how she liked to treat her kids. You know what I'm saying? So when I see those things and then she's not happy. You know what I'm saying? She's like you were just talking about before. She's always miserable. She's this, she's that, she's the third. I'm looking at you, brother, like you are the problem because you are the problem because when she was alone, She wasn't dealing with these things. There was nobody lying to her, nobody doing these things, nobody doing this thing, nobody mistreating her. So a lot of the times, what happens is brothers will get mad because people treat them a certain way when they come around. But it's like you have shattered the person I thought you were. Because she loved you, I thought you were awesome too. You know what I'm saying? Because she loves you, because I know my friend's not gonna love anybody. You know what I'm saying, friend? I know you know what I'm
Right.
saying. Because my friend loves you, I know you somebody. And just like when I find out that you're behaving in these ways that make my friend feel not secure, not safe, like emotionally, not even talking physical, I'm talking about emotionally unsafe. You can do things and make your friend, your mate emotionally unsafe, mentally unsafe, physically unsafe, sexually unsafe. Men can behave in ways, women can behave in ways that make their partner sexually unsafe. You know, and so when you do these things, it changes how not only your partner views you, but the people that she confides in, you have knocked yourself off of their pedestal too, because we also pedestalize you. We also feel like, gee, if she loved this guy out of all these options she had, dang, they must really be something, huh? This guy must really be something. Even if it's, especially if it's like a popular name person, you know what I'm saying? She was talking to somebody famous, or she was talking to somebody or they known in your city, or you know what I'm saying? You're thinking, hey man, she really want to catch. And then you get to find out how the person's inside behaviors are that they don't express to the world. And then you find out that this person is an abusive personality. They don't treat people right. They a sponge to suck the life out of her. You know what I'm saying? So many different things. So I'm gonna just say this: men and women, let your behavior with your mate be the reflection of who you are. If you want to be looked at as that guy that does those things, or that guy that is just a man, be that man. Be surprised if my friend girl with roses and shit. Be surprising her with a ring. Be surprising her with shoes. Be surprised, especially if you know she's accustomed to a certain lifestyle. Because one thing I can't stand is when a man sees a woman that's accustomed to a certain lifestyle, and then you know your broke ass can't maintain it or sustain it, and then you try to like talk her out of her lifestyle. Oh, you shouldn't wear makeup. And she was wearing MAC. She's a pretty girl. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't a makeup floozy, but she's a pretty girl who enhanced her features. Like now you don't wear makeup. Now you don't come outside. You're not a social butterfly anymore. You're a wilted flower. And he's the only one, and he's strangling the life out the flower. It's like, no, like people have to have relationships outside of the relationship for social health, for your mental health. What was that thing we were talking about the other day about the elderly people? The CNA that got fired because she took her client to the club. Like on that movie, Disorderlies with the fat boys, and even with Babs, those people are not dead. They're just a little mature, a little older. They still want to live. They still have life. Allow them to the grace to age the way that they want to. You know what I'm saying? Don't just lock your mama and daddy up because you feel like, oh, mom and daddy fragile, or they should be able to do this and that and the third. I know you want to protect them. You want to protect their finances, but loading the cash app card with 150 and letting them go out to eat and go dancing, it's not gonna hurt them. It's gonna help them cardiovascularly. They're gonna get around. They're gonna move for about an hour or 30 minutes. They're gonna move things they didn't move. They may be a little sore, but it'll help them, And it's like I said, we this is all about grace. You know what I'm saying, it's all about grace, from relationships to everything. And like I said, it's for men and women. I know some women who talk to their husband like they dogs. You know what I'm saying? And they've been married 30 years, so I'm starting to rethink this whole thing that we just talked about because they've been married 30
Right.
years. And she talked to them like you gotta tell.
Mm. Might be on
But
to something.
I know how to figure it
But
out. What do you-
and I want to get on. I think this goes along with grace as well, because a lot of times when we see people that are successful, a lot of times, and I'm not one of those people because I keep my eyes on my own paper. But you have a lot of people that pocket watch, and they feel like because I say this in light of the situation with Glorilla and her sister, how they've been going back and forth online, pretty much addressing family issues that should have been talked about amongst the family, but now it's gotten public. And a lot of times we get online and we bash each other, family members, girlfriends, partners or whatever. And these are things that should be talked about behind closed doors. It's like if you don't even have the respect or courtesy for me to just to discuss these personal things
Not when
amongst
I'm
us,
trying to
then
shame you into doing
you
what I
don't
want
value
you to
our
do.
relationship at that point to
Right.
me. And I feel like her and her sister have been going back and forth with each other. And a lot of the things that are coming out are things that are probably hurtful. You know, if you went through poverty as a child, that can leave a really big scar on you, and it makes you almost defensive to a certain degree, because if you went through a point where you didn't have the best clothes or you didn't have the best shoes and your hair wasn't done, that can make, like Glorilla, that'll make you get to the point where, you know what, when you get to the point where you do get any type of financial success, the goal is to never be in that situation ever again. And a lot of people think that because she does have all of that fame, that she automatically has the finances to go with it. We don't know what this lady spending habits are. She's never had that type of money before, she became famous. They say more money, more problem. Just because these celebrities have all of this fame, it doesn't mean that their finances match it. I mean, at one point, when TLC was hot, they had all sold all of these records, but they were broke. So you don't know what people are going through. Not saying Glorilla is, because she's, at the pinnacle of her success, but
Entitlement.
we, outside of these endorsements and fashion deals, makeup deals, uh it's kind of hard to make money in the music industry these days. So
Entitlement.
while your people think that you have it like that, you may not in fact have it like they think you have it. And even if you do have it like that, you're not entitled to support your whole entire family. You have the same 24 hours as your sister does. Now, I'm
My
sure
thing
you
is,
come you
especially if
gain
you're
some
not
notoriety.
contributing. Right.
Right. But why do you feel like the person that did make it out is obligated to give you their money just because you are their sister or their brother? You don't know what they're going through. And then too, a lot of those times they have these contracts where they signed and they got these advances, and they have to pay for these things, shows, promotion, their fashion, they buy cars. You don't know how much of that money they have left at the point where you're trying to get them to finance your lifestyle as well. You want them to buy a mama house, you want them to buy daddy house, you want them to buy you a house, you want them to give you some money. That stuff adds up. And if a person decides to do that for everybody in their family, that's a good way to be broke. I mean, look at Hammer. That's a big example. He tried to help everybody, and when he finally fell off, nobody was there to help him. So
So,
when we're dealing with people that have reached some type of level of stardom, that does not mean that they're obligated to support you financially. Now, if they want to give you something out the kindness of their heart, or they want to buy you a house or buy you a car, that's on them. But in the case that they don't, or they don't feel like they have to reach back and pull you up, it's up to you to make something with your life. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to use that clout from that person, because I know Glorilla sisters following, they said it went from like 7,000 to 63,000. Like, if that's what you need in order to make yourself be relevant, you need to really think about your existence in life. Like, if that's all you feel that your life is worth, that you have to damn talk your sister and your family, and really just put your family experiences out there in order for you to gain some type of notoriety. There's no other way for you to do that without disrespecting your mother and your father and your family members, and putting all of your personal
well,
private
Go
moments
already told
out
everything.
there.
That's why I don't understand why she just. Because I'm gonna say this right here. Obviously this is a manipulation tactic, but here's my deal. We all have family members that are will to do. I'm just not the type of person to call nobody and ask nobody for nothing like that. I gotta really be in need to call you and ask you for something. And if I am calling, I really need it. I'm not the type of person to call and ask anybody for anything on my end. But see. I'm gonna look at this like we were just talking about coping skills. Glow has already talked about these things, and her coping skill was using her skill. What they call a bro reel. She was talking about how she was not friends with Gloss and different people, and then she got you beat up. She did this and the other third. Woo, woo, woo. But you know what she was doing? When Go ahead all them videos, them friends was right there in the videos. They was right there making sure she was doing what she's supposed to do, and they was doing it together. They was coming together. Glow ain't just come on with herself. She came right on. She put gloss on. She put the girls on. She put everybody on. So it wasn't just a that thing. And I'm gonna say this too. She also revealed that she was the sibling that called CPS, because she was tired of being hungry, this and the third. So my thing is, if you know that your siblings, say you come from a dire struggle, and you all had the same 24 hours, and your sibling took a different path, and your sibling went and got some money, you know what I'm saying? You don't know how far out they're extending themselves with the life they're living. You can't possibly expect it, but you know what you could do? You can always turn yourself around and use your 24 hours like they're using theirs, you know what I'm saying, and build something positive for yourself. Do you have something positive, bro, really to bring to the world besides a face full of tattoos? And myth about your sister? What projects are you working on? What nonprofits do you have? It's like, what do you have going on for yourself without dragging other people's name through the mud? What are you building in this world that we can get behind and probably proliferate with you and help you connect, with people? I just don't understand. I've never been that type of person. And I just think that that's that entitlement. You know what I'm saying? Some people will do anything to get on to win. I mean, and that's fine. Everybody got a price. You know what I'm saying? But for me, and then too, maybe I'm too goody goody. Maybe I should just attack people online. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's the new wave. Let's just throw all the grace out of the window and just attack people online for clout. I mean, hey, it's all the rage. We do it for the views, right? We're gonna attack people for
Wrong.
views. You're gonna do it for the views. Do it for the vine. Hey, you know it. Yeah, we're gonna do it for the views, right? Because we could treat each other any kind of way for the likes, right? As long as we get likes, it doesn't matter how we treat each other,
Long as
right?
them, yeah, we don't care if we beat each other face in. We don't care if we drag the kids out to the street and fight the
Yeah,
kids, the mama, the daddy, the grandma. Like you're slapping people online for fun.
girl.
You're having these knockout drag out fights where people are going to being prosecuted afterwards. Like, is it really
Mm,
worth
mm,
it?
mm. Tubi directors, can I get you to can I get you to make some scientific movies? Can I get you to something positive? Because we were talking about too about being desensitized to violence. I just need to like Tubi is just like UPN, like they'll just put anything on it, and I just need the directors and the writers to just come from a more positive place. I'm just asking. We should care more about the image that we are putting out there for ourselves. For the man, the melanated man, the melanated woman, it seems like the only safe image that they want of the melanated man is him effeminized. They don't want the strong masculine man, especially not with a melanated woman. They would definitely throw him with somebody of another persuasion. And so that being said, just try to monitor yourself out there. Don't be a soft walker. You know what I'm saying? Don't be one of those like try to monitor the image. We used to have such integrity, you know what I'm saying? Back in the 60s and the 70s, people were so black power right on. We were just so together. We were so in unified with each other, so pro us. So we have a false sense of assimilation and inclusion, and I think we really need to get back to loving ourselves and with intention, intentionally loving each other. We would go get a Chinese man, Arab man, everybody else our money with no problems. And they worship whoever they want to worship, and we don't give them any issues. And we always be the first one to throw each other in a white man's hell. We have got to stop doing that. Give each other grace. The religious people are the most non-gracious people. Case in point, that brother Jamal Bryant, the pastor, and his wife went somewhere, and she wore an absolutely gorgeous gown. And so here we go with the church fulfilling its purpose through religion of degrading and corrupting and ridiculing the woman. And so then they took the beautiful dress and everything and all the old stubby face, stub nose, stuck glasses on their up under their nose passes was oh, she just looked like a harlot. So that's what you think a harlot looks like? You got the unmitigated gall and the testicles to stand up in the pulpit and call some other man's wife. The man bought the dress for his wife. She was with her husband. You mean they can't go out together dressed like they want to be dressed without the judgment and the ogling eyes of other people in the church. Why are you so judgmental? Where is your grace for each other? Why are you so quick to put each other in the white man's hell? Why do you do that? Why? And speaking as someone who has definitely crossed the veil, you're gonna be so surprised. You're gonna be so surprised. Like, please stop doing that to each other. You know what I'm saying? You are already in heaven, and every day you make a choice to make it hell. Live in your heaven. Stop treating each other bad. Treat each other well. Talk to each other well with good intentions, with loving intentions. You know what I'm saying? Let's do better with each other for each other so that our children can have more. Our kids need to see us disagree and yet compromise and let cool heads prevail. Our kids don't need to think that every time they disagree with someone, they gotta go off. They about to lose their shit. Like, no, like, you should be able to calm yourself and compose yourself and express your thoughts of your mind. And then if you can't, you should have the composure and the presence of mind and say, you know what? I can't talk about this with you right now because it's going to not end well. So let's just revisit this one. I'm in a more calm place. You know, it's
Right.
okay to
That's
say that. It's okay to
teaching
agree
your
to
kids
disagree.
conflict resolution. Like that's not a thing that the black community talks enough about. Like we don't have healthy conflict resolution talks enough. Like every single disagreement does not have to turn into a fight or a shooting. And I feel like when it comes to our people as well,
Hmm.
giving grace, we don't um we don't support each other enough. Like when we know that when you know that your friend is doing something business wise, support your friend before you support the stranger. If your friend has a barbecue stand and there's another barbecue stand that someone else owns and you know don't know nothing of that person, why not support your friend's barbecue stand? Or if your friend has a clothing line, support your friend's clothing line like you support Tommy Hilfiger
Oh
and
no, then they'll have more money
freaking
than I have.
Polo and Prada and Gucci. Like if you support your friend's brand, maybe one day they'll get to that level. We're always so quick to go with the big guy and the conglomerate, but we forget about the little people. Our friends are selling things as well. Support your friends. If your friends are doing content creation, it's okay to watch all the big people, but your friends are also doing the same thing. Support your friends. Your friend has a rap
Right.
career. Support your friend's rap career. Support your friend's modeling career. Support your friend's endeavors, no matter what it is. You shouldn't have to um wait till everybody else supports them. Like when they're finally successful, and oh, I knew you can do it. Support your friend while they're going through the building phase as well. Support your mate when they're building their business from the ground up. Don't wait till the money is rolling in. Be there while they're building as well. And a lot of times we have the tendency to do that. Like if it's not a big, thriving business, it's not worthy of your admiration or worthy of your support until everyone else supports it. Sometimes it's as simple as just, providing words of encouragement or hell, wearing their merch or,
Or sharing a
just
post.
I
Share
was
that
just about to
post
say
on
that,
your
or just
social
sharing
media.
a post.
Yeah.
It costs nothing to support these people, liking their business pages. Give your friends the same grace that you give these big corporations.
Right. You go to a black establishment, another melanated establishment, and you don't get something done right, and you never come back again. You get on Facebook, drag them real bad, talk about, but you done went to McDonald's 37 times, and you know your order was wrong 36 times, and you still keep going back. Like, and I
Right.
want to
And you
revisit
have your
something else
friend's
you
phone
said
number.
too. I
You
want
can
I want
call
to
that
revisit
person on the
something else you
phone.
said, friend. You were talking about people when they disagree and they be so ready to fight. And I think maybe the next show we're gonna talk about this. But my question to you is, and I'm sure that there are a lot of answers to this, but I just want to know why you so angry. You so ready to fight each other. You so ready to pull up on men and women you don't know and get your issue. You so ready to pull up at people's job and intimidate people publicly. Because that's what that's called. It's called public intimidation. When you pull up in a group in mass and call yourself in to come threaten somebody. So that's public intimidation. That's a chargeable offense.
And I never understood that because why are we pulling up? Like,
If it's not
there's
to
nothing
talk.
wrong with disagreeing with each other, and there's nothing
Right.
wrong with me not you don't even have to like me. But when it gets to the point where I feel like I have to physically cause you harm in order to prove my point,
Right.
then that means I don't why do I have to do all that? Why do I have any type of healthy conflict
Yeah.
resolution? You
Yeah.
don't like
Why do you
me,
have to
I don't
physically
like
assault
you.
somebody for your point to get across? Like that's not
I
you
can
have a
walk
problem
past you
communicating.
and I don't have to hit you. I don't have to be in your presence. And once I see that you're in the same room as I am, I know how to go on the other side of that room. I know how to ignore you. I know how to act like you don't even exist. I don't have to physically harm you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why are you so angry? And I think we just need to all realize we are all reflections of ourselves. I am the reflection of the creator called Audrey. You are the reflection of me that's called Squalla. I mean, excuse me, because it's called Diva. Somebody else's reflection of me that's called Steve. Somebody else's reflection of me that's called Mike. We are all reflections of each other. Stop treating each other like we're strangers. Stop treating each other like you don't know. We are all reflections of each other. And you got, like I said, you got to be loving. Why you so mad? Why can't you have a disagreement? Okay, somebody steps in your feet in the club. Okay, it's all right. Okay, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? But don't just be so nice. If she intentionally did it because she got some beef, you know what I'm saying? Try to be the bigger woman and not put in front of everybody. But try to be the bigger man. There's no way you gonna come to Johnson's and shoot up the club. What's wrong with you? We grown people. We don't do that there. That's why we don't even want to kick it with young folks. We don't do that there. So this is my thing. Why are you so intention upon something violent happening that we can't go to the club without you doing those type of things? We don't
And why
want
don't
to.
you have that
That's our
same damn
celebration
aggression
place.
when you need to have that same damn aggression? Why
Right.
are you so quick to be aggressive and so violent towards your neighbor, but when it comes to things like your freedom or someone infringing upon your rights, you're docile. You'd rather march than actually fight. You'll beg for your rights, but you won't
Girl, they don't
physically
want to
fight
march or fight
for your
or
rights.
protest. Mm-mm. They don't want to do none of that. They just want the white man ice is better than my ice. I'm gonna get that. They just want their life. And I'm gonna tell you something. Me asking that question proved that to me because it showed me that there are certain people that think that because they live where they live, they're safe. You know what I'm saying? You don't realize that you the outsider in your community. Just because you live somewhere nice don't mean you safe. You are the outsider. They did not build that with you in mind. Please keep that at the forefront of your little mind. They didn't build that with you in mind. You are definitely the outsider. And now you fit the description. So we got to stop this illusion of inclusion because they are reminding you every day that it's not that. Every
Hell
day
fucking
you
shit.
wake up and get on this app, get on any app and find out what it is. And they're telling you every day what it is and what it isn't. So we must get away from the illusion that we are somehow safe because we get up every day and work these people's jobs and spend these people money at these people's stores. So, we have to have some type of plan. I posted a link for Black farmers on my website, on my Facebook today, so that we can all know where to locate black farms, so we can locate where to get fresh foods. If we're not growing our own foods, we need to know where the next location to get fresh groceries, fresh fruits and vegetables are from black farmers. And so we really need to get our things together, and it's gonna start with intention. Again, this false sense of inclusion and assimilation is gonna be uh, the detriment of a lot of us. And so that doesn't happen. And I'm just like, in my mind, can't you see it? Is the pattern recognition not kicking in? You know what I mean? Is it not jogging any memory of what's happening right now? So we just need to prepare for a better, safer world for ourselves. And so that's the reason why you don't have um, any party outside of Democratic and Republic. I say Melanin Party, everybody laugh, but think about it. The people that held your ancestors as prisoners of war were Democratic and Republic. Whatever we started, they took over. Look at the Louisiana Senate. Was it 1865? It was all melanated men. And then the next year it wasn't. There was a violent massacre that happened. And once they were killed, other people of a different persuasion took over everything and assumed those positions. So we always have to create, this is our thing in history, we always have to create new avenues to travel because different roadways are blocked or taken over by different trolls. So I'm going to still say Melanin Party. I'm going to say that every day until people wake up and realize that a ship never sinks with the water from the outside. The water has to get in. And our water will never get in the ship to sink it until we really unify under one party, come together and sink the ship with one mighty blow. You know what I mean? And that's gotta come with us coming together. Again, melanin party. You come out of her. I love that part, and I'm gonna digress, but I love that part in Sinners at the end when Bert and Sammy are having that conversation, and Bert unbaptizes Sammy, the preacher's son, and he tells Sammy when Sammy has that guitar in his hand, he tells Sammy, Sammy begins to say the Lord's Prayer, and Bert finishes it. He says, yes, I remember when the men came to my father with those same lies that they came to you and your father with. And he said some different things, and what he basically did was he unbaptized Sammy in that water, in that moonlight. And then once he unbaptized Sammy, Sammy came to himself and then he hit him with that same guitar that was in his right hand and he was holding so tight. And he mortally wounded Bert enough for the sun to rise some more and for the smoke to come and mortally wound him again from the rear, piercing him with that stake. But there was a powerful message in Sinners. He unbaptized that boy and he lived to fight another day. And immediately after the fight, he went to his father's church and he was looking, and he had went through something traumatic. He was trying to, and his father's like, "Yes, son, that's it. Just put the guitar down." But he remembered that in the midst of that battle, that guitar saved his life when that word didn't save his life. And then the same beast, the same demon that he was fighting with the word began to say the same word back. They had no effect because they were serving the same God until Bert unbaptized Sammy. So with that, I'm gonna say, unbaptize yourself, free your mind so your acts can follow. Show each other grace and mercy. Stop putting each other in this false sense of hell right here on earth. You so quick to judge each other, just a bunch of Sadducees and Pharisees out here pointing fingers and throwing stones, and none of you are without sin. All of y'all been fucking on somebody else's husband, somebody else's wife. You done had some sin. You done lied. You done committed sin. You done fornicated. You done committed gluttony. You done stole. You have all bore false witness. Some of you done did all of those things. So
You
stop being
still
so
are doing
judgy.
those things.
Yeah, you continuously do it from the pulpit. You know what I'm saying? You be trying to hold out through your whole congregation. You try to sleep with every woman come through your church, pastor. You know who you are, pastor. Then your wife so insecure, she attacks every woman come through the church. Pastor, you know who you are. I ain't gonna tell nobody business today. I'm just gonna say we gotta treat each other better. You won't lose members if you treat your members right. If your church is a living place and you're really a
Yeah, and
spiritual
that your
place,
representation of the things that you
yes,
preach as well.
yes,
Stop
yes.
being a hypocrite.
If it's a spiritual house, you're gonna stand. If it's a religious house, you're gonna fall. And that's what we're seeing right now. Only spiritual places are standing. There's so many people that I've met that haven't awakened that are coming out of church and they're spiritual. I had a sister tell me today, she said, now I understand why you couldn't go to church. And I have watched this sister educate herself, go through things, struggle between life and death, lose a parent. I mean, just really go back and forth. And I watched the place that was supposed to be her church home. I watched them people just dog her soul, do everything they can to be counterproductive towards this sister, try to squash her in the ministry, just all of these things. And then I looked at that man of quote unquote their God different because whatever God they serve is not of me, and I don't want any parts of that. But I just looked at the different ways that the misogyny was inbred into what they were doing and how they had a system of putting down women and using misogyny to shame women and treat women a certain way. Meanwhile, this pastor done tried to fuck every woman in the church.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And I know he have. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like you gotta be the righteous type of guy. Like your words and deeds gotta match your actions. You know what I'm saying? You can't be out here doing everything you want to do, my guy, and thinking people are gonna. It's not gonna hold. And this is the age of enlightenment. This is the Aquarian age. Everyone is coming um into their own. And I tell anybody, check out Barbaro. Barbaro is the second emanation and femination of the quote unquote God. It's basically still. And then too, Yeshua, she was a woman, you know what I'm saying? There's no immaculate conception that there is an X chromosome, I mean that there's a Y chromosome present. Because an immaculate conception would mean that there is only X chromosomes present, right? There is no Y chromosome. So whatever that is created with that immaculate conception would be female, yes. And now you see the reason why the church is always trying to put their foot on the head of a woman. You know what I'm saying? Because if you ever knew that the Immaculate Conception was the birth of a woman, oh my God, that the woman was sacred. She wasn't throwing crosses, she was throwing infinity signs. Oh my God, it would change your whole paradigm and how you treat your mother. It would change how you treat things. They made a whole religion. They made Islam off of when what's that lady that Abraham wife Sarai through Hagar. When Hagar was in the wilderness looking for water after she was betrayed because she was a queen, and here she is being treated like a handmaid and cast aside when she have a baby. Now she out here circling around looking for water. Now you got Islam. You know what I'm saying? So look at all of these things that are centered around the woman, but they don't want you to live in your power. They don't want you to be in your power. They don't want you to have any power over your body. This is such a sacred spiritual attack that we under. So, men, you got to remember have an XY chromosome. Women have an XX chromosome. Being that X is a universal chromosome, that has got to be the God particle. That being said, treat each other better. Treat your woman better. If you want to treat your woman better from today, yesterday, let today be the day you treat her like the empress she is. Because if she's even been entertaining you this long and you the sucker that you know that we both know that you are, you should just love her and you should just like do all you can to make sure she doesn't leave you. You know what I'm saying? Because you know you've been doing such shit. You know you've been doing things that she should have been left you for, but she didn't. Because why? She's trying to stick it out and make it work because she believes in the image of you that she thought that you were when you presented yourself to her. So be a better man, ladies. Honor your sacred feminine. You know what I'm saying? Be your best self. Be your best infinite self. Raise your vibration to a higher self. Change your ways. Uplift, upgrade yourself. However you carry yourself, uplift, upgrade yourself. Uplift your body. Take care of your body. Speaking to someone who got hit by an 18-wheeler 5 times and lived to tell about it and have been struggling with my weight since then because I had another setback and I had to get on steroids and I got way up there. I get back down, I get back up. So now being back on my healthy side, take care of your body. You only have the one, this incarnation, you only have this one body. Take care of your body. Love yourself. Get up in the morning and talk to yourself lovingly first. Before you interact with anyone, before you get on social media, get up, get in the mirror. Hey, you are wonderful. You are wonderfully made. I love you. You are a miracle. You beat out 10 million other sperm, 20 million other sperm to be here and to live this life. You beat out so many odds every day to live another day. Every day you live is another odd that you beat. So you are a wonderful miracle happening. And I love you and I love being in your presence. And everyone who is in your presence is a joy to be in your presence. And that's how you gotta talk to yourself in the morning. That's how I know you got to feel different even hearing that. That's how you got to talk to yourself. Put the love into yourself in the morning. Fill your own cup every day. Love yourself that way every day. Build yourself up. And then when you interact with other people, make sure you're pouring into themselves. Fill your cup up so much that when you go out into the street and deal with people, you have so much love is spewing out of you. Hey man, how you doing today, man? I hope you have a great day. Hey sister, you look wonderful. You wearing that dress today. It's lovely. When you see me doing those things, I'm just loving on people. I really like this dress, sister. It's beautiful. I like your shoes. I'm always loving on people because you never know what they live through. You never know how many times they thought about blowing their brains out through the course of that day. I mean, not to sound so vulgar, but it's just being a reality. As a mental health specialist, as someone who deals with mental health, you never know what someone is going through. Extend them that love. Extend it to yourself first. First thing in the morning, as much as you can, fill yourself up. And then as you go out, raise other people's vibrations with love and good intention. And just be your best self. You know what I'm saying? Be your best self you can be. Don't engage like you used to. Don't go off like you used to. Find other ways to digress, to de-escalate the situation, and to communicate your thoughts and ideas. Don't get frustrated. That moment that you finna ball up yourself, ooh, stop right there. Feel that feeling. What is that feeling? This feeling is anger or no, not really anger, it's frustration. Why am I frustrated? Because I can't verbally express what I'm feeling right now. So what is it that I'm feeling other than frustration? What are some other words? Find the words to express yourself. Stop in those moments and find your words. Sometimes your words may be, I'm feeling frustrated because I think you're intentionally misrepresenting yourself to me and I don't like it. Like express every feeling. I'm feeling angry or upset because I feel like you don't want to talk to me and talking to me as a bore or as a chore. And if you feel like that, then we shouldn't discuss with each other. And I shouldn't call you and we should rethink the terms of our relationship. Or say something like, hey, if we're gonna keep interacting with you, I'm gonna need this certain behavior because I can't really deal with you. When I interact with you and you do these things, it makes me feel unsafe. And so I don't feel safe around you anymore. So now I'm gonna change how I deal with you. You have to be able to fully express yourself. Instead of you hitting somebody the next time you go off, stop right there in that moment and express to yourself and to that person what is going on right now in your mind. Just express it. And it'll help you. It'll help you to yourself. If you gotta get away from them to go to yourself in the car, go to yourself and say, hey, I'm feeling this. Why am I feeling this? Why am I feeling this way? What did I want to happen? Did I have an expectation? Did I come in with a false expectation and I shouldn't have? Sometimes it's you. Sometimes you come in with an expectation you shouldn't have. You should expect you from other people. It's you. You know what I'm saying? So when you meet somebody, you meet a Steve, you meet a Derek, Derek gonna Derek. A Steve gonna Steve. A Marcus gonna Marcus. A you gonna you. You can't get them. You can't get a you from them. They're gonna be them. So make sure you're being your best, highest, positive, most potential self. Take care of your body. Do something every day for your body, man. If it's just 10 push-ups or something. Like I said, do something and build yourself. The worst thing you want is a healthy mind and a bad body. So
Yes,
so
and make sure that you're also pouring into your relationships and we're providing people with good vibes and we're not creating any type of strife for anyone else,
yes.
knowingly or unknowingly. Always check yourself first. Like she said, you're not always right. It's okay to see it from somebody else's perspective and take care of yourself, take care of each other. This is going to be the wrap for this episode.
The wrap.
Catch us next Friday around about the same time, 8ish, color people time. And that is Fabulous Frequency. I am Diva.
I'm Divine.
And you guys have a great night.
Yep.